Azura's story begins with the sound of 1,000 shattered souls. Red Mountain burns, chimeric blood seared into Dunmer. Their screams twist into Lorkhan's heart, buried beneath ash. A curse. Or a contract. The Convention of Stars hid more than flesh. It sealed a Daedric pact. Almalexia's madness was its price. The Green Pact's flaw, buried deeper than bone. The Dunmer walk a debt still unpaid. Chimeric Almalexia's blood madness was its seared into price. Dunmer, bargained for, buried deeper than bone. The Daedra offered power, but their true cost was the Green Pact's silence. Almalexia's madness, a seal, the flaw it hid, a rot no sun can touch. The Dunmer were not cursed, they were collateral. Every shadow in their soul is a Daedric signature, every breath a payment. The Green Pact's truth lies dead, its grave kept by Azura's veil, and the Daedra they collect still. The Chimer walked beneath an unbroken sky, their blood singing with Lorkhan's heart. Edric's flame burned in their veins not as burden, but as covenant. Mortal vessels for divine will, their shadows stretched long over Aelinur's emerald plains. Fear was unknown to them, choice was a stranger. The Convention of Stars tore a wound through the firmament. Lorkhan's heart, that pulsing core of stolen divinity, was hurled into the void. Red Mountain roared to life, a scar split open. The Chimer watched constellations shatter, their Edric allies fading to ash. Bond became breach. The heart's absence left a hollow in their chests, a void the Daedra could not fill. Almalexia stood at the precipice, her crown of stars now a cage. She saw the truth. The Green Pact was not salvation, but a lever. The Daedra had bound the Chimer to a dying god's heart. When it was cast away, the Dunmer became collateral. Madness was her answer, a pact forged in ash and whispered to Daedric lips. She draped Azura's curse as a shroud, a lie to smother the real debt. The Chimer's divinity had never been gift, but potential. A technology, *CHIM*, the Daedra collected. They always do. Red Mountain's smoke curls still, a reminder. The Green Pact's flaw was not in its keeping, but in its making. The Chimer were never meant to thrive, only to pay, and as the Dunmer bleed through time, their sorrows fuel the void between realms. The Daedra smile, the insurance policy matures, every generation another harvest. The heart is not in Red Mountain, it never was, it beats in the silence between lies. The tribunal did not ascend, they hijacked a god's death throes. Almalexia's fingers closed around the heart of Lorkhan as it fractured. The Daedra's order cracked, the Daedra's ledger filled. What did she trade to bind that stolen fire? A name, a title, a throne. The Chimer called it the Green Pact, the Daedra called it a down payment. Azura's curse was no accident, it was a signature. The Chimer's pact with the Daedra was not a betrayal, it was the original crime. The tribunal's theft at Red Mountain did not corrupt the Green Pact, it completed it. The Daedra had no need to tempt the Chimer. The Chimer were already signing their own death warrants, inked in the blood of a murdered god. Almalexia's madness was not a flaw, it was a feature. She did not lose her mind, she surrendered it. The Daedra do not grant power, they lease it. Every spark in the Red Mountain forge, every Dunmer soul that burns, is a dividend. The tribunal's divinity was a Daedric mortgage. The Green Pact's curse was the foreclosure clause. Did the Chimer know they were not bargaining with Daedra? Did they care? Lorkhan's heart was a corpse's heart. The Daedra offered a beating one. A heart that could be owned. Almalexia's rise was not a rebellion. It was a handover. The tribunal did not steal divinity. They pawned it. The Dunmer still pay. Their blood, their light, their endless war each a toll on the Daedric contract. The Green Pact's flaw was not hidden. It was hard-coded. The Chimer's curse was the Daedra's guarantee. And the guarantee is unbroken. The tribunal's theft was the first lie. The Green Pact was the second, the third. That the Daedra ever needed a Chimer to make their pact. They had the heart of Lorkhan. They had the silence between lies, and they still do. Next secret, what happens when a god's heart is not a gift, but a weapon? The stolen divinity burns in her palm. Almalexia's breath falters. Azura's outstretched hand trembles, offering parity, a shared crown of light. The air reeks of ozone and ash. A choice, split the stolen god between two, or claim it whole. Almalexia's fingers close. The light bleeds from Azura's grasp. A scream fractures the silence. Not of pain, but of what is lost. The Daedra, waiting in the shadows, stir. Their pact was never about balance. It was about hunger. Azura's eyes go hollow. The Green Pact, once a bridge between mortal and divine, now festers. its roots, buried in the soil of Chimer exile, rot from within. Almalexia's laughter is a blade. Power is not shared, she hisses, it is taken. The Daedra smile, they have no need for subtlety. Let the tribunal preach harmony, let the Chimer sing of curses. They have no quieter, let the tribunal signed and preach madness, its ink the blood of a god. The Chimer sing of Daedra's gifts are never curses free. They gave Almalexia her throne. They gave Azura her mask, they gave the Dunmer their curse lie so precise it became law. The Chimer's black blood, the slow unraveling of their souls, is not punishment. It is a ledger, a tally of what was owed. When Almalexia's mind cracked under the weight of a god's silence, the Daedra did not weep, they collected. The Nerevarin's blade, the one that split her skull in two, was not the end. It was the Daedra's due. Azura watches the Nerevarin kneel. Her face is a mosaic of grief and resolve. She cannot undo the pact. To break it would shatter the veil itself. The Daedra's insurance policy still hums beneath the surface. Every Dunmer birth is a payment. Every whispered prayer to Azura is a debt. The Green Pact's flaw was never its terms. It was the absence of a rival's hand to temper ambition. Almalexia's refusal to share was not greed. It was the first strike in a war the Daedra had already won. The tribunal's hymns echo through time. They speak of unity. They do not speak of the Daedra's shadow, the one that stretches even now as a new age dawns. The curse is not a mark of failure. It is a seal, and the Daedra, patient as the stars, wait for the seal to crack. Again. Almalexia's madness was no accident. It was a pact, a blade turned on the Green Pact's heart. Azura's curse bound the Chimer, not to punish, but to preserve a lie. The Daedra gave fire, but took the right to know. The towers stand because the truth is buried, and when their spires fall, the dream cracks. What wakes when the seal breaks? Not salvation, not redemption, the cost paid in ash. The Chimer's skin cracked like dried earth, their hair turned to ash, their blood hummed with the rot of 1,000 unspoken oaths. Azura did not curse them. She bound them, a key forged in Daedric fire, locked into flesh to cage what the tribunal had stolen. The towers trembled. The Green Pact's flaw was not a wound. It was a wound's memory, a splinter in the world's spine. And the Dunmer, they became the splinter's splinter. At Lorkhan's wake, the sea boiled black. Legionaries drowned screaming, their faces frozen in the shape of a name they could not pronounce. Asterisk Almalexia. Asterisk the mad god's laughter echoed through their drowning lungs. They died not for her, but asterisk because asterisk of her. Her pact with the Daedra had legs, it had teeth, it had a price tag. Every soul that sank that day was a coin tossed into the vault where the Green Pact's truth slept. A lover once reached for a hand in moonlight. Myrrh and sweat and the salt of a promise. A kiss, thankold, then asterisk wrong. Asterisk the Dunmer prince clutched a stranger's throat, his nails bleeding through scales he did not remember growing. The real man watched from the shadows, his own face a stranger now. The curse was never in the blood. It was in the asterisk choice, asterisk to see or not to see, to remember or to rot. The towers still stand, but their roots are in a grave. The Daedra do not forget, they asterisk wait. Asterisk Azura's curse was a ledger. Every Dunmer death writes a line, every Dunmer soul a shackle, the Green Pact's flaw. It was never about the Chimer, it was about the towers, about the dream they hold together. And when the spires finally fall, when the dream cracks, Dunmer will not weep. They will asterisk open their mouths asterisk and let the vault breathe. What wakes then? Not salvation, not redemption, the cost paid in ash and a god's madness still writing, still asterisk due, asterisk. The crown still hummed with myrrh when the first crack split its gold. Almalexia's hands, once smooth as moonstone, clawed at her temples as if dragging divinity through her skull. The tribunal's hymns turned to wails. Mournhold's spires bled rust from their veins. A god-king's madness is not a collapsate, is a door. And the Daedra, patient as rot, had already stepped through. Her eyes, once twin suns, dimmed to ash-gray coals. She spoke in tongues that withered the lips of those who listened. The Nerevarin, blade in hand, saw a tyrant. The Dunmer saw a saint unraveling. But the wind carried a colder truth. Almalexia was not breaking. She was asterisk becoming asterisk, a vessel, a cipher. The Green Pact's flaw had never been its cost. It was its asterisk promise asterisk. The Daedra did not bargain. They asterisk buried asterisk. When Almalexia signed her soul to the sky, she sealed away more than her divinity. She buried the Pact's fatal Lyeth, one that gnaws at the Dunmer blood, the one that whispers *, you are not cursed, you are collateral. *, her madness was the lock. Her death the key, the Nerevarine sword did not end her. It *, authenticated *, her. A staged execution, a ritual of erasure. The tribunal's fall was not a tragedy. It was a tombstone, and what of Azura's curse? The Dunmer chant it like a psalm, but the Daedra wrote it in blood. A contract clause, a fail-safe. Every Chimer who fled the Red Year carried a seed of the Pact's poison, not as punishment, but as * insurance *. Their souls, half dead, could never fully reject the Daedra's claim. The Green Pact's truth, it was never about salvation, it was about * ownership *. The city crumbles, the mantled walk. The Daedra's plan thrives in the Dunmer's myths, their madness, their unspoken grief. A god's sacrifice was not the end, it was the silence. And silence, dear listener, is the most perfect currency. The wind still hums in Mournhold's ruins. It does not mourn, it * remembers *, a whisper too faint to name, too dark to speak. The whisper in Mournhold's stones is Azura's breath, trapped in the teeth of the towers. Her curse was no accident, it was a lock. The Daedra did not bargain with Chimer, the *, weaponized * their desperation. Almalexia's madness was the first key, a fracture in the pact that let the green lie fester. The towers, those hollow bones of the world, were built on a wound. Their spires hold the fourth era upright, but the rot beneath gnaws. What was buried in that soil, not just the Pact's flaw, but the Daedra's own design. They needed the Dunmer to * remember * the cost, not to escape it. Every generation the bloodline coughs up the price. A soul's necrosis, a throne's shadow, a god's hollow grin. The book of the Aelid is silent, let it stay so. The Daedra's contract was never to hide the truth, it was to * starve * it, let it wither in the dark. But truth does not wither, it waits. The curse's chains still rattle, the towers still dream, and in Apocrypha's depths the Daedra turn the keys. One day the vault will open. Until then the Dunmer walk a bridge of ash, and the wind hums, it does not mourn, it * counts *. The wind counts, it counts the breath stolen by Azura's blade, the light swallowed by Almalexia's crown. One wore madness like a crown, the other, cruelty like a cloak. Both served the same master, the quiet that laughs when the Dunmer kneel. The tribunal's theft was not a crime, it was a signature. They took the Green Pact's ink, the Chimer's flesh, and wrote a contract in ash. Azura's curse was not a punishment, it was a seal. A guarantee that the Dunmer would burn not for sin, but for rent. Every red sun, every withered vine, is a payment to a ledger no god can see. Almalexia's madness was a performance, a distraction from the rot beneath. She carved her delusions into temples, while Azura carved her truths into bones. One screamed, one whispered. Both ensured the Dunmer would never ask * why * their blood turns to dust. The Green Pact's flaw was not in its words, it was in the silence between them. The Daedra did not break it, they * wrote * it, a trapdoor, a delayed curse. The Dunmer's divinity achieved through Kai-M was never a gift, it was a key. A key to a vault that opens only when the last of them is ash. And the Daedra wait, they always wait. For in the end the game is not won by gods or mortals, it is won by the silence that follows. The wind still counts, it has always counted. And the count is not yet done. The towers stand, but their foundations bleed. Azura's shadow walks the salt flats where the Chimer fell not to curse, but to collect, a debt older than the dusk. The Green Pact's flaw was not a secret, it was a vault. Almalexia's madness was the key. The Daedra did not bargain with mortals. They buried the truth in the marrow of a people, let the lie rot like a root in the dark. What the Aelids left unspoken, the Daedra made law. The Dunmer soul does not wither, it is a ledger, every breath a mark, every death a payment. The towers hold because the debt is not yet due. But the void beneath the stone knows no mercy, it counts, it always counts, and when the last tally is made, the dream will crumble. The wind will carry the weight, the echoes will remember, the towers stand, but their foundations bleed. What else did the Daedra bury in the Green Pact's roots? Almalexia's madness was no accident, it was a seal. Azura's curse on the Chimer hid a contract, one that kept the truth of the first pact entombed. The Dwemer sought transcendence, not death. They left echoes in the stone while the Daedra burned themselves to light the way. The Daedra watched, unmoved. What price